Okay, I'm back again with the next tutorial. So last time we created the entity relationship framework. It should look like this. It should be okay. And this time we're actually going to change the create product page, which at present looks like this. And we're going to get it so that it's got a dialog pop up and you create the items from that. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, first thing you got to do is you have to bring in some script files. How you have to get them in is you right click on this and add manage NuGet package, and you're going to need the jQuery and the jQuery UI installed onto the thing. So jQuery UI and jQuery. So both of these, if you have them included, they've got a tick up here at the top. But both of those need to be included. Once you include them, you'll have a scripts folder. From that, you can drag and drop under the head, under the title, but within the head tag, two of them. Basically, I would recommend this one and this one. Okay, these are just the scripts so that you can use the IntelliSense, the code. May as well. I haven't put this in, but you may as well use this one as well, the IntelliSense. I'm not sure how much use it is, but because IntelliSense seems to work when you don't have it. And then finally, we're going to use a CSS sheet, but we're not going to include it in the folder. We're going to just have it linked to it. So use that, and basically the source would be, if it's in here, the href file is obviously if it's a link. So there we go. From here, we've got all the not the code we need, but we've got all the actual libraries that we need. Okay. Instead of going through a long process of adding things, just make the HTML look like this. So that one. And then a grid view. This is, of course, instead of me just sitting here adding columns and all that. And then so we have two div tags. The format doesn't really matter as much. But yeah, I'm just sort of making it exactly as I have it. But yeah, okay, so, and then finally, what we need to do is we need to have this whole thing, which you already had, inside a div tag. I might just copy and paste all this, might be the easiest. Okay, just after the grid view. So let's go back into the design. Okay. So after the grid view, we're going to add a data entity. There it is. Yeah, a data entity source. So it's just down here. Entity data source. Now we configure the source and membership context. Next, products, and finish. And then the next thing, of course, we're going to do is choose the data source, and this might reset it. Okay, that's just a little hiccup. We're just going to have to redo the grid view. Well, just the columns actually. So copy the columns again. and Control V. And then it's telling us that there's a div tag missing, so we'll just close that to make it happy. Okay, now setting up the code is done like this. In the page load, we need to do this. So I think you might already have this, but page load. Okay, so that's sorted. And then in the back, it's like this, which I think is sort of already there. I'll just make sure. Yep. So there you go. That's the method for that. And then in the design view, the grid view object, select index changed. Select index changed. Okay. So in here, we're going to have all this. Okay, so from here, we're going to design view, click on the grid view object, select the row editing event, and add the following code. So I just may as well say it now. Row editing. Okay. Neither of these buttons are actually going to work because we A, don't have image upload, and B, don't have discount. So it's going to be further down the tutorial when we actually can use this. Okay. Next up, we're actually going to start using the AJAX. So to do this, we need an AJAX enable WCF service. So to this, add. I'll just go to the project. So on the project, you add a web service, and from here we are going to name it membership service. So copy that, paste. Yeah. Okay, so add. It'll work on yours. The reason it won't work on mine probably is because I tried to do this tutorial yesterday and there were problems with some of the things, so yeah, never mind about me having to rename it one. But anyway, just follow on from here, and we'll get these methods. So what this is doing is, okay, KD, okay, method must have a return type. So one. Yours will work fine if you just have that. But anyhow, my tutorial will just look a bit funny with one in front of it. But anyway, what this does, okay, so this creates a product. The first thing it's got to do is run this method, which has product by name. So if it has the product, it returns false. So it'll just say return false in here. It'll return false in here, obviously, and then that'll return false because this will return true or false. I'll explain why later. But yeah, basically, so if it doesn't have anything, it'll create an object. But yeah, basically we need a return type because if you just have this set to void and it does it, it might be that it's not creating items, but it doesn't have an error, so the user thinks it's working. Which, yeah, you'll see what I mean when it come in when we go into actually programming it a bit. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add a script manager, which is, let's see, it's just down here, AJAX extension and a script manager. Okay, now go into the source view and we're going to put a services tag. And from here we're going to put service reference, path, equals, pick URL, and obviously we're using the service that we're using. Okay, and then done. So this will enable us to use that service. From here, we're going to have to make a script tag. you see, you can use script tags up here, but because we've got to rip out the methods from the servers, it needs to be down here, so that we can go from there. Now, I'll just show you this before we even go on. This inserter, that's this div tag. So all of this isn't going to be seen because it's going to be set to a dialog. So auto open, false, show, effect blind, duration 1000, effect explode, duration 1000. 1000 is 1 second. But that's how long it's going to take to show up and explode. You can set these to whatever you like. If you go to the jQuery UI website, you can find what variables it is, but these are what I've set it to. And then of course button click, and close is this one, and show is the one up here. That one. Okay, so from here what we can do is we might need to change those buttons for a bit later, but I think it's okay. But yeah, so this opens up, this closes it, and then from here we need to go here, copy all this, and put it down here. And this will take a bit longer to go through. Okay, new membership service 1 is what we need. That's what I need. It'll be fine for you. But yeah, so we create a service object and then service and then create product. Create product is that one. And then the variable that we're passing in is a product, which to do this, you put in like just the variables of the product. So we've got a name, details, and price. And then you get the element by ID, text details and all that, And then function result, that's what's returned, so it's going to be true or false. Var X is going to be true or false, so if it's true, record has been saved, alert will pop up. Save it into the database. Once you click OK, it'll close it, and it'll reload the page. Otherwise, it'll tell you that there's a record already in the database called that. So let's just have a go at this. It might have some problems just looking over the code. I may have left some things out. But let's go create an item. So we'll create an item. Now we want to create, I've already put some few items in. Item, details. This is a new item. Fair enough. And we're going to charge $25 for it. Insert. Record has been saved to the database. So that means there's no item called new item, trying item, and therefore we can add. Okay, so it seems to work fine. And then we click back, create item. Okay, so everything's working fine. I'll just make sure that I've told you everything. Yeah, okay, so everything is fine from here. So from now on, the next thing we're going to be doing is actually getting it to image upload. So we haven't made this page, so it's going to be a whole new web form, but this will be linked to via the grid view. So it'll be at images. Okay, so that's what's coming up. See you then.